Hey guys, Majin Obama here, and I wanted to talk about the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. This recently dropped maybe about a week and change ago, and since then it's been the talk of the town. Maximilian, Justin, they've been doing work with it. Lots of people have been enjoying some of these games that they haven't had a chance to play in an official capacity for 20 some odd years for some of these games, 20 plus, 25 plus even. But I wanted to kind of give my perspective on it just because, as somebody who I've been playing some of these games on and off and even learning some of them, even in recent years, well before this. And like to guess flex this real quick. I did get third place at Evo this year in X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Yes, I am a decorated warrior, so I do have the right to talk about this. But what I wanted to say is, first of all, the collection is it's pretty solid. So far, from my perspective, this collection is really about the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 element and what it does for net play for this game and being able to give it another port like this on modern consoles and on Steam. That's really the biggest dub with this collection, and what I would say is it's well worth the price tag alone in my opinion. But I'm also biased, a biased boomer, mind you. But there are certain things that the collection does pretty well. There are also some gaps where I think it could be really improved. Right now, for me, the good stuff. Overall, if you're somebody who just has never really you've been living under a rock and you haven't played these games before or in recent memory, what's really cool is, this game offers you 7 titles to play with, and even a game like Punisher, this is a more obscure beat-em-up title, classic arcade-style beat-em-up game that maybe a lot of people missed when it came out, or even way back when. This game's really good, actually. It's pretty sick. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do to be able to, again, play with other people and actually be able to enjoy the game in a way that it was kind of meant to be played, But also the fact that it gives a lot of these games, both training modes and a variety of other features like the museum, where you can see not only demo art and concept art for all these titles, but also you have access to their OSTs. There's a lot of little bells and whistles like this. Not only does you have that, but you also have the fighter awards. These are basically just little challenges and achievements for all these different titles. There's a lot to enjoy, I think, with this kind of collection if you've never played these kinds of games. And I can't stress that enough. I think what's really important, what I really want to encourage people to do, if you're somebody who got into fighting games recently, or maybe you're just young, maybe you never had a chance to mess around with these, I think some of them are cool just to even mess around with just for a day or something like that. And I'll be making some videos, I think, kind of talking about that too, how you can kind of hop into some of these. I cannot stress this enough. Some of these games were made with so much love and care for the IP, and it bleeds through the game. It's really cool. And the fact that you get access to, like I said, 7 of them, the entire series up until Marvel 3, with Marvel 3 and Marvel Infinite notwithstanding, is a good feeling. It's cool to be able to see some of these games kind of get the respect and nods of approval that they deserve. And in my personal experience, the net play for them has been, here's the thing, is although I can't say it's been perfect, it's been overall for me, mind you I live in Japan, it's been somewhat satisfactory, I'd say. Crossplay obviously is a premium feature, and that's not included in this collection, which might actually be for the best when you consider PS4, Switch, PS5. It might be too many cooks in the kitchen on that. But in my experience, the matchmaking queue times have been they've been a little bit long in the tooth, and Capcom has identified this, and they put out a message recently saying that they're aware of it and they're looking to fix it. So good on them for that. But overall, when it does work, it works reasonably well. I've been pretty satisfied. In fact, I was in an X-Men vs. Street Fighter lobby with Boss and some of the guys that play out here in Japan a couple days ago, and to good success. Yeah, it was pretty good. But I guess now that makes me want to talk about the things about this collection that I would want to change. There are a lot of very weird little odd things with this collection that, in my opinion, if Capcom were to patch this collection and make some of the changes that I'm suggesting, I think that it would go from something to where I'd recommend to I'd super strongly recommend it kind of thing, So for me, and again, as somebody who has competitive history in this game, I was kind of disappointed that X-Men vs. Street Fighter used a version of the game that was the least widespread and not played. It was a really weird decision. And what it makes me consider is it would have been really cool to have a version select for some of these titles that had multiple versions. Something like that would have been relative. I can't imagine it would have been a really hard lift, and I'm just not really sure why they put this version instead of the more widely played one, and why I don't have the option of being able to select that one. That was kind of disappointing for me. The way it works out for me is, when I think about all these games and my ability to play them online, the collection right now, it's about what does this offer me over what I currently have access to through Fightcade and various other platforms and various other releases. Really what this offers me is Marvel 2 with net play, because right now the Marvel 2 net play on this package pretty much plays like an updated or like almost upgraded version of Flycast, which is good, because Flycast, it kind of has issues, I think, with net play and being able to, like, with inputs, but this net play feels a good bit better, in my opinion. I would even say it feels better than what I remember playing on Xbox 360 and PS3. I would say so, in my experience anyway so far. The other one is Marvel vs. Capcom 1. I like Marvel vs. Capcom 1 on this collection, and I have a dumb reason for saying this, but the reason why I like this version better than even like Fightcade is because they have the hidden characters right on the character select screen. It's something really dumb, but yeah, that's enough for me. So to me, this collection really is about the upgrade that you get on Marvel vs. Capcom 1, which is a minor convenience, but it's, you know, it's not, oh, yeah, cool. And Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with net play. And like I said, I guess the fact that I don't have to put the code in to get Gold War Machine every time, or, you know, every single time, if you don't know, the way you used to have to do with that game is, in order to get some of those characters, you had to input codes on the character select screen. It used to take like 10-15 seconds. Anyway, the point is, this collection right now, as it stands to me, just someone from my perspective, this is about Marvel vs. Capcom 2, especially and that's definitely the case with that game, but also a minor win with Marvel vs. Capcom 1. However, even talking about that, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has some issues as well, right? There's no kind of screen indicator on the screen when a character is killed or anything like that. There are a lot of audio glitches. I noticed this happens with Sentinel a lot, or Sentinel and Psylocke in particular. It happens a good bit. Storm as well. But you'll get a lot of audio glitches and things of that nature. Also, this has been talked about a good bit, and it's not like it changes up the meta or anything like that with this game, but it's just something that's kind of weird, disappointing, and there are a lot of theories as to why this worked out this way, but I'll show you real quick. And this is not the only case like this, but there are a few, they're still kind of being discovered, I think, too. But take a look at Juggernaut, right? His heavy punch, 17 damage, right? So the way this used to work was, see Turok Gem power up, you tag him out, and when you tag him back in, he would keep it, and then he would have it forever, right? But now, he does the same damage. He doesn't have that anymore. That glitch used to even make him a viable option on some gimmick teams, right? But now, it's like 2024, we kind of know how this game goes. You know, Storm, Magneto, Sentinel, Psylocke. We know who the top crop is. Why is it in 2024? Why is Juggernaut getting nerfed? You know, that kind of thing. So it's kind of a weird feeling. I know there's been like some back and forth about Anakaris too. Maybe like he can do the Infinite Curse in match, but not in training mode because it's based on the arcade ROM, but they had to add the training mode. It's really weird. Anyway, the point is, I think maybe it'd feel a little bit better if they put out a list of some of those stealth changes and maybe some stuff that changed as a result of fixing whatever they were trying to fix. I've heard a lot of like tinfoil hat theories on why this happened, but also maybe rolling it back, maybe rolling this one back or something like that. You know, it just feels kind of weird to make like what is effectively worked out as a quote-unquote balance change, but it didn't act, not really, you know, that kind of thing. So it was kind of a weird, there's a little weird feeling there. But anyway, I guess what I wanted to say is, so far, if you're on the fence about this at all, I think the package is really worth it. Or if you haven't played these games before or at all, like I think it's worth it. It's cool just for perspective. I mean, dude, like these games are fun. At the end of the day, like if nothing else, they're fun. And they're worth it for that alone. And even if it's just about Marvel vs. Capcom 2, being able to net play with your friends a little bit, I think it's worth the price tag. But anyway, so far, like what I wanted to say was I really hope that they patch in the ability to not only just be able to kind of navigate the matchmaking, and the menus can be a little bit wonky. Fixing the matchmaking and doing an update on that and on the lobby structure. But also the ability to do version select, especially for X-Men versus Street Fighter, I would really appreciate. And then also maybe taking a little bit closer look at what happened with this Marvel vs. Capcom 2 port. Like I said, it's not like Juggernaut was one of the best characters in the game or anything like that, but it's not like Juggernaut was one of the best characters in the game kind of thing. You know, it's like, why him? But overall, the package is good. It's just, it needs a little bit more work. And I think if they put in the time and the effort to kind of take some of what we're saying and make patches to fix it, and I hope that they take some of this and keep it in mind for the next collection that they're going to be dropping with the Power Stone games, Plasma Sword, Rival Schools, and of course CVS 2. I'm thinking about that release down the road because this release, obviously, you know, you had the Max and Justin engine, they're talking about free MvC 2, all the other stuff, right? And, you know, a lot of people got into it because of that, and also just because of Marvel IP. A lot of people probably have fond memories of these games, or, you know, like Nostalgia Bros and stuff like that. But I don't think the next collection is necessarily going to have that same level of fandom behind it, you know? Those are going to be more enthusiast games. So my concern is, I don't think it takes a lot of effort to please both audiences. It's not like you have like a bunch of professional Power Stone and Star Gladiator players in 2024 like that, right? But ultimately, the people that are going to be keeping these games afloat and kind of driving people towards sales of them are going to be the competitive players, because after 2 weeks, most people are going to drop those games. You know, so if you want to keep the game still kind of having visibility, still kind of pushing some sales, you got to make those people happy to a degree. My concern is due diligence on making sure that the versions of the games that they want and that they play, I think should be important, especially with regards for CVS 2. Everybody else is going to enjoy it regardless, right? So it's not as big of a deal for them. But I will say for that collection, I'm looking forward to 4-player NetPlay Power Stone. If they get 4-player NetPlay Power Stone 2 working and they get that, and the voice chat too, more voice chat control. I want to be able to like hold the button down, talk into my mic, and that kind of stuff. That I really love the voice chat ability with this game. But anyway, the collection's great. Hope you guys pick it up and give some of these games a shot. Even some of the games that are kind of brushed aside in this collection, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter and X-Men Coda in particular. But there are a lot of interesting things about those games that, especially through the lens of 2024, I think can make for some interesting conversation. But anyway, I've talked too long already. Make sure you guys pick up the game, and if you guys want to play some matches, pop over to the stream, and I'll be glad to engage. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Everybody be easy. Let me know in the comments below if you guys picked it up, if you're satisfied, or what game you were maybe not expecting to be interesting, but maybe was more fun for you guys to play. Catch you guys in the next one. Be easy.